So it's lovely to see you. Thanks for paying attention to the notices and the information so that you're dialed in at the correct place and the correct time. Well done. That's a good start to the semester. Doesn't look like that's probably Jennifer. It looks like that connection got dropped. Okay, well let's get going, otherwise we'll be having to rush to get through everything. Welcome back. Some of you, it may be your first semester, I'm not sure, but for most of you, hopefully this is a return from the fall. I'm sorry that we're doing it again virtually like this. It would have been lovely to have you all back in the classroom and be able to see your faces and get to know you a bit better, but we have to keep everybody safe, so we'll manage, it'll be fine. It's going to run really smoothly, Collaborate works well, you'll be able to get hold of me when you need me, and yeah, we're going to have a fun semester. I'll talk you through the syllabus today. That's my plan, to show you around the Blackboard page where things are so that you know where to find everything. We'll take a quick look at the web page for the textbooks so that you know where to go there as well. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is just jump to the home page on Blackboard and show you around there a little bit. All right, and I don't need to go there because I said it will head the game today. All right, let's go here, share application. And there's our home page. Make sure that comes up for you. There we go. Good. All right. So this is our home page. And I'll try to keep it relatively simple. You'll discover quite quickly that I'm really bad with technology. So I keep it simple, mostly for myself, so that I can manage it. The textbook here, that information has been available for 2 weeks now, so I'm hoping that most of you have managed to get hold of the book in whichever version you choose. And those of you that are dialed in, well done for paying attention to the notice. So we're going to take a look at the guidelines and then the syllabus, but let me just show you over the side here. So over here is the email messages link. So if you need to reach me, that's the best place to go. If you've got a question or a comment about something, there's a discussion board here, all right? And that's often a good place if you've got questions about the information, because if you've got a question, probably someone else does as well. Obviously, if it's a personal item that you want to let me know about, then use the email, okay? And then the next link is important. So the link for the classroom is also the link where the office hour links are. So my office hours will be through a Collaborate classroom. So here's the one that you came into this morning. Down here you can see there's a grayed out office hours link for Monday, Wednesday, and one for Thursday. Okay, so those will come up available at the time of the office hours. All right, then your participation, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that as we look at the syllabus, is here, assignments are here, class notes here, and we'll come back and take a look at those once we've looked at the syllabus. All right? Okay, and come back and change out the screen here. Oh, open that up first. And then, let me share it. Here we go. Okay, can everybody see that properly? Do I need to make it any bigger for you? No answer. Okay, so I'm going to assume you can all see this. Okay, all right. So once we finish today, I would spend a little bit of time just browsing around Blackboard, make sure you can open things, find things, okay? There's an introduction discussion board. So the point of the introduction discussion board is because we're not on campus and we can't get to know each other properly. So there's just jump into the discussion board after class, put a couple of sentences about yourself. Where are you? Are you here in town in Portales, or are you somewhere else? What are your interests, or why are you taking this class, or anything. Just a couple of sentences, just so that we can start to understand and know each other a little bit. That would be lovely. Just to try and, as best as possible, create some kind of community feeling, get to know people so that if you've got a question that you could email someone in the class maybe. We'll be pairing up for a project during the semester, so that way you'll know a little bit about who your partner is. We're going to go through the syllabus today relatively quickly, but it's important that you read it a little more closely before you complete your participation agreement that is there on the home page for you. Okay, that participation agreement is important because it's tied to financial aid, and so they want to see that you're logged in and that you've started class appropriately. And that means that when you do that participation agreement, you are saying you've read the syllabus and you understand what's required for the class. Okay, so it's really important to go through the syllabus carefully. If you have any questions about it, don't do the participation agreement until you've checked in with me, all right, and had your questions answered. Then take a quick look through your textbook or your ebook if you've got the ebook. We're going to cover many of the chapters, not all of them, there's too many for one semester, but we're going to do a lot of them. And you have the option to do one of the ones we don't cover if you want to for your binder for the end of the semester. I've got the page numbers there, read some of the kind of preface material. There's a focus on critical thinking. This book is very geared to making you think through, why do I do that? Do I want to change that behavior? How do I feel about this advert for a protein bar, for example? All right? And that'll give you some information about how to understand all the learning tools that are built into the chapters for you. All right? You need to activate your online resources as quickly as possible. We'll take a quick look at that today so I can show you that. If you purchase the second-hand book, the key code in there may not work if the person used it, so you might have to go and purchase a key code from the publisher. So I showed you that email messages. That's where I'm going to get in touch with you. Right? If I need to tell you something is changing or I need to remind you about something, then Blackboard email messages and announcements is where I will reach you. Okay? And down at the bottom of that startup guidelines, is a link that the university have set up for you to help you with techie, IT type techie stuff because you're working at home, okay? And if you have some difficulties with techie things, let me know. For example, student services have said that they can help out. I don't know how they're planning on helping out, but they've said they can help out if your Wi-Fi is really slow, right? Or you're living at home and there's 4 of you trying to use one Wi-Fi connection, right? So if you're having trouble meeting your requirements for class because your Wi-Fi is slow, let me know and I will tell student services and somehow they're going to put that right for you. I don't know what the plan is, but it's nice that they've got a plan, all right, to help you out because everybody understands how difficult this is for you guys working at home. Trust me, I understand it's really difficult for us as well here in an empty classroom, all right? So, you know, everybody has the expectation to be as flexible as we can be and help you guys out as much as possible to be successful, all right? Okay, any questions on that startup document? If you're talking to me, you have to remember to turn your microphone back on. And if you're not talking to me, be warned there has to be lots of talking this semester. This is an interactive engagement class. Okay? All right, so let's get rid of that one and let's have a look at the syllabus. Oops, let's put that because it's not 2 pages. Okay, here's the syllabus. All right, so up the top here is my office number and my phone. I'm not going to be in my office this semester, so that's not the best way to reach me. All right, if you need to email me, use the email messages facility that I showed you in Blackboard on that left-hand column there. All right, here are my office hours. Don't panic if my office hours don't work for you, okay? You may have another class at that time, or you may have an afternoon shift at work, okay? Usually I try to have some morning office hours, but I'm teaching every morning, so that didn't work out this semester. So if those office hours don't work, that's okay. Just email me and say, I need to talk to you, I'm free, X, Y, Z times, can we chat? All right, and I can make an appointment with you and be available at other times during the week. All right? So, there's the textbook again. You've got to have the book in one form or another. If there are any other additional readings, they'll be in the class notes tab on the left-hand column there. All right. So, quick scoop through, again, read this more closely before you do the participation agreement. All right. So, I don't assign points for attending class. I don't remove points if you're not in class, all right, except for the participation requirement, all right, because this isn't a content class. We're going to have a load of fun in this class this semester, all right. It's not really a content class for HPE per se. It's an introduction to your opportunity to be as healthy as you can be. And so my goal for the course, for the semester, is that we get to play with lots of different ideas about what can help us be healthy, all right? And so I'm going to introduce you to lots of different activities that maybe you have not ever tried before, just for fun, so that you can see, you know, as you get older, maybe I'd like to try doing something different, right? I'm kind of bored with my activity routine. Let's try something else. All right, so we're going to do lots of fun things. That would be Friday mornings. So when we get to the schedule, you'll see we have Friday morning activities. All right, so that's your participation and the reading and the pre-chapter quizzes. So obviously, if you don't participate in the activity, then you don't get the points for that activity, right? So when I say I don't give points for being in class, it's a little wishy-washy in this situation. So if you have questions about that, yell at me, because I may not be making any sense. It makes sense to me, but it might not make sense to you, okay? Let me know if you have an excused absence, because if on a Friday morning or Friday, right, maybe you can't get the activity done in the morning, but you could do it later in the day. If there's a reason you can't do it, right? So, for example, we're going to go for a long walk, and you have just had knee surgery, then you can't go for a long walk, right? Let me know, and you won't lose those participation points for that activity. All right, does that make sense? Okay. Let's have a look at the assessments. So the assessments are all built around trying to get you to engage with the material in the book, to engage with your own health and wellness. Make you really think about, why do I make this decision? Right? Is it a good decision for me, or do I need to maybe think, perhaps it's time to change that behavior, right? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, okay? And I want this classroom space, I want you to understand that this classroom space is a safe place for you to share your experiences and opinions, all right? Other people may not agree with your opinion. You may not agree with my opinion sometimes. That's okay. We don't all have to agree all the time. What we do have to do is be respectful of each other, all right? And not be judgmental. Now, the second one's hard, right? Because we tend to judge things that we don't agree with. Try not to be judgmental. But always, always, we are going to be respectful of each other in this classroom. All right? So you can jump in any time, make any comments you like, add some information if I'm missing something, or you know something that I haven't talked about, you know, and be as honest and as open as you can be, because this class is all about your learning curve. Right? This is going to be the opportunity for you to really pinpoint, what do I need to do to be the most healthy I can be? Right? And looking forward across the rest of my life, when I leave college, what are my choices to be well and healthy? All right? So we've got to be very honest with ourselves when we're doing self-assessments, when we're filling in activity logs and things like that, all right? So we're going to do pre-chapter quizzes. The pre-chapter quizzes will open after Friday activity the week before and close at, I think, 8:30 on the Monday. All right, the point of the pre-chapter quiz is to make sure that you've looked at the chapters, right? And that you've at least skimmed them, even if you haven't read them thoroughly, depending on which ones. You know, some of the chapters will be more interesting for you, some of them may be less interesting. So, you know, there will be some chapters you want to read in a lot of detail. They've got some cool information in this book. It's really a very interesting book to read. All right, so pre-chapter quizzes. Then in the workbook, there are self-assessments and changing health behavior worksheets. And this is where you really want to be as honest as you can be about what your current behaviors and thoughts are, right? And what are you willing to maybe attempt to change or not right now, right? It's not a right or a wrong, okay? There's no right or wrong here, all right? It's all about being honest with yourself, most importantly, okay? There'll be a binder, which is really grouping together of a lot of the other information that you'll do. And then with a partner, there'll be a presentation on one of the chapters at the end of the semester, okay? And then there's a lot of points, as you can see, for the participation, because that's the point of the class, right? Let's get moving. Let's get doing things that will make us healthy and well, okay? Okay, all the assignments will open up in Blackboard for you at the appropriate time. They're all linked with an announcement that will pop up in your Blackboard and tell you that there's something opened up that you need to do. It's very, very, very important that you check Blackboard multiple times during the day for emails and announcements from your instructors, okay? If assignments are turned in late, other than the pre-chapter quiz, which will shut down before we tackle that chapter, because the whole point of the pre-chapter quiz is to get you looking at the book ahead of time, right? Other than that, the assignments will open in relation to the syllabus schedule, but they won't shut once they've been open. They'll have a due date on them, right? And the due dates are there to try to keep you guys on track so that you don't leave everything until the last minute, which is what happened last semester, okay? So don't do that, because then you've got a lot to manage at the end of the semester, all right? So there'll be a due date. Every day that the piece of work is late will be a 1% deduction. So hopefully that will be the motivating factor to get it done on time, all right? Now, if something comes up, all right, we all have a life that is not school, okay? So if something comes up and you're looking at the syllabus and you're like, I can't possibly get that piece of work done by then, email me and let me know, and I'll extend your deadline. Right? I don't care. It makes no difference to me. All right? As long as you participate and you do the learning, then extending the deadline is not an issue. All right? So just drop me an email and say, Dr. Wall, I can't. I've got this, and this on. I just can't do that extra piece of work as well. Can I have another day? Or can I have another 2 days? Right? It's no problem, as long as you let me know. The problem is if you don't hand it in, and 3 days later you email me and go, oh, I couldn't meet that deadline because, right? That doesn't work, okay? You have to be proactive. You've got to stay on top of your work, okay? That's your responsibility as the student. Okay, if you need any kind of accommodation, then get in touch touch with the Accessibility Resources Centre. Here's the phone number if you haven't spoken with them, and they will email me and tell me what you need. Okay? Academic integrity is kind of irrelevant in this class. Okay, here we go. So, participation activities on Fridays in particular, all right? You have to participate. It's a day of class, right? Friday is a scheduled day of class. I'm just making it a play day because I like to play, right? And I think when we play, we can learn more, we can introduce ourselves to new concepts and maybe try something different. So we're going to play on Fridays. That doesn't mean Friday I don't have to go to class, okay? So, if by midterm you have 6 or more missing Friday participation elements, then you'll get a 0 grade on the participation for midterm, all right? If after midterm I get to finals and you have 6 or more absences on Friday participation stuff in particular, from midterm to finals, you'll get a 0 on participation. Remember, participation is 25%, so that puts you at big risk of not doing well. Okay, so pay attention to what's going on. Let me know if there's a valid reason why you can't finish something. Okay, that's all you have to do. Just let me know. Communicate with me and we'll be absolutely fine. All right? Questions on any of that so far? Before we look at the schedule.
You said the pre-check quizzes, what was that? Is that one time, like one time, or is it like a multiple times? Did you get wrong?
Yeah, you get 2 attempts at them. And as I said, they'll open on Fridays. I'll show you it's on the schedule, on the syllabus. They'll open on Fridays, they'll close on Monday mornings. You have 2 attempts. There's 8 questions, I think. Okay. I'll show you those on Blackboard when we go back to the Blackboard page so that you know where they are as well. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Good. Okay. All right. So, schedule. This should go relatively according to plan, unless we have major weather hiccups that interfere with Friday playtime, in which case I'll email you and we'll make another arrangement for Fridays, okay? But the rest of it, because we're not here, the rest of it should go pretty smoothly, all right? So we've got the date of the class 3 times a week, we've got what's happening that day, we have the assignment for that day and the due date, all right? And so the way I've set this up, and if you don't like it, please let me know, all right? What I've done is I've set aside Mondays for you to read the chapter more thoroughly after you've done the pre-chapter quiz, because you can kind of skim the book and do the quiz, but I want you to take time to read the chapter well, because this is your health and your wellness and the health of your family that we're talking about here, right? This is really important stuff for the rest of your life, okay? So I've set aside Mondays for you to read the chapter thoroughly and to complete, at the end of each chapter, there's a section that's called Applying What You've Learned, and there are some questions there. And I've picked certain questions for you to do to think about that information from that chapter, all right? So you can see that we have on next Monday, you're going to read chapter 1 more thoroughly and complete questions 2 and 4 on page 34. Okay? Now, if you want to, you can go ahead and do your worksheets that day as well. Right? That's up to you. But hopefully I've set this syllabus up so it's really clear. Again, if you have questions or you're not sure, let me know. All right? Then on Wednesdays, we're going to meet and I'm going to talk to you about information in the chapter. I'll try to expand some of it if I find other info. I'll probably bore you, but hopefully not. I'll give you experiences that I've had. You know, now I'm a lot older than you guys, so you know I've got quite a lot of years on you where things have happened during my life. Where if I had had this class when I was your age, maybe I would have been able to handle those things a little bit better, right? But we didn't do a great class like this when I was an undergrad, okay? So then there's your worksheet assignments, self-assessments and changing health habits. And then on Friday, we've got our activity, our play day. And next Friday, if the weather is decent, we're going to go for a walk at the trail outside of town for 30 minutes. If you are in Portales and you want to come and join me walking at the trail, that would be great. There's plenty of room. We can spread out. We can socially distance. It's out in the fresh air. We should be pretty safe to do that. If we're going to clump up and chat with each other, we can put a mask on. All right? And if you're not in town, you're going to go for a walk, and we're going to film ourselves for a couple of minutes and load up the film. All right? And so we've got Mondays every week set aside for you to read, answer some questions, think about the information in the chapter. You could also do your homework worksheets if you want to that day and get them out of the way. That's up to you. Wednesdays we will meet and discuss the information in the chapter and, you know, maybe agree or disagree with information in the chapter, right? We don't always have to agree with our textbooks. And then Fridays we have play stuff set up. All right? Now, pre-chapter quizzes. If you keep going down the syllabus, because I couldn't find a way of putting them up here without it looking a complete mess, and I thought that that would just be too confusing for words. So we're going to do our presentations the week before finals week, right? And then here are your pre-chapter quizzes, right? So chapter 1 that we're going to look at next week will open at 10 o'clock this Friday after class and close on Monday morning before your hour of class time that you can use for reading the chapter. Right? This Friday we're going to meet in the Collaborate room because I want to spend a little bit more time showing you the textbook information. Some of you might not have received your books yet or not logged into your ebook yet. So by Friday, hopefully everyone will have that and we can take another look at it, make sure that everybody knows what they're doing. And plus, how many of you do we have in here now? We're missing quite a lot of people, so by Friday there's going to be some people that don't know how to find things. Okay, so this is the book. I think you can see that. All right, Healthy Living. If you buy the book, at the back of the book are the worksheets, but you also get access to the online website, and they have the worksheets in a PDF format, which, since we're having to work online, is probably easier to manage. It's up to you. You can do them in your book and take a photo of them and turn it into a PDF, or you can download the PDF from the website. Okay? So the student tools that this company, this publisher uses are on a site called Navigate 2. And again, if you buy the hard copy of the book, well, soft copy of the book, there's a card here that has a blacked out key code, and it gives you very clear instructions how to access Navigate 2. All right, but you'll need to scratch off that key code. If you buy an ebook, I'm not sure, I'm assuming that that's something that is either in the ebook or they send you a key code separately. Like the key code is a separate piece of the purchase. I'm not quite sure how. I've never bought an ebook in my life, so I'm not quite sure how that works. Let me know, obviously, if you're having any problems there. So when you get into Navigate 2, I think as a student you may only see this one line. I'm not quite sure, again, what view the students get. But you click on that Navigate 2 access for the book. Now, when you get to this page, you've got to click on one of these red boxes over here. You're going to click on the launch. And it comes up with lots of items here, right? So there's going to be a possibility to look at some animations to do with items in the book. So they have the workbook PDFs in two separate places. You can click on this link, workbook exercises, and then go to the chapter. Or you can click on the chapter and it has the workbook exercises as if you had the hard copy of the book. So it's just a preference for how you like to manage your technology. And then when you click on the chapter, they've got the ebook, they've got flashcards to help you with key terms, there are PowerPoint slides, outlines, okay, and then the workbook. So we can take another look at this on Friday. Hopefully by then you'll all have managed to get access, and it'll perhaps be a little bit easier if you're actually clicking on it and looking at it while we're discussing it. Okay. So back to, how am I doing for time? Okay, all right. So over here on the assignments link that's in the left-hand column on the home page of your Blackboard site, when you click on assignments, going to take forever. There we go. On assignments, there are folders for each type of assignment that you've got to do. So there's one for the pre-chapter quizzes. If I click on chapter quizzes, you won't be able to see this yet. So if I turn this into student mode, there's nothing there, right? Because that first chapter quiz will open on Friday at 10 o'clock. All right? So all the chapter quizzes are here. Okay. The self-assessment worksheets, there's a folder for those. Right? And those assignments will open when we do that chapter. There's the same idea set up for the Changing Health Habits worksheet. And then we've got presentations and personal binders. You can't see those yet because that's way, way down the line. You don't need to be worrying about those right now. Okay? On your participation link, this is where you'll go to put your answers for the questions at the end of the chapter and to put your film clip for Friday activity. Okay? Those aren't there yet, but they will be next week. All right? And then Class Notes has PowerPoint lectures and some other information that we'll play with as we go along. Questions? Close. Get back into. So I'm really hoping, as I said at the beginning, this, in my mind, this isn't exactly a content class, all right? It's more a personal journey on discovering what is best for your health and wellness, all right? And so hopefully we're going to have lots of fun. We'll have our activities to do on Fridays, and the weather will cooperate for us to be outside a lot. And we'll do some nutrition stuff, and we'll also do some meditation and some yoga and all kinds of different activities on Friday to play with ideas that you might enjoy building into your timetable, right? Or an activity that you go, oh my God, that was so dull, I'll never do that in my life, right? It doesn't, you might not enjoy everything. Hopefully you will, but, okay. What else? Yeah, that's it, really, I think. Anything that you thought that I was going to tell you today that I haven't said? Oh gosh, people, you're going to have to help me out and talk to me. Don't leave me hanging here in silence.
No, I think everything was answered pretty good.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I agree. It all made sense.
Okay, so read through that syllabus carefully between now and Friday. Friday we will meet like this, and we'll have a quick session to have another look at Blackboard, have another look at the website for the book. Hopefully by then, as I said, most of you will have managed to get yourself access to the book. And then if you've got questions, we can answer them on Friday before we start next Monday on Chapter 1. Okay? All right. Stay well, stay healthy, wash your hands, wear your masks, and I'll see you on Friday. Okay?